Hello, my name is Ona Irakiza, and this is my reflection on Math 180 over the class that I took this past semester. So, just a little bit about what the course is about. This is a business calculus course, so think about relating calculus to business. We looked at how processes and trends of calculus can be related to the business world, and how different functions relate to different scenarios in business. For example, maybe looking at how raising a price might affect different things, or just things like that. And then in doing that, we took a deep look into the derivative because if you don't know what the derivative is, it's ultimately like a rate of change. And so that really has like direct relation to business because things change really often in business. And so it's a really good correlation between the two. How to prepare yourself. These are a few points that I have down. I'll definitely be ready for a lot of discussion based learning. We did a lot of discussion in class, so I'd be prepared to do that. We did have homework assigned each week. Depending on the week, it took me about 1 to 2 hours. But I mean, if it was like a week where we had like 5 or 6 assignments, then it would probably take me like about an hour each day. Um, be prepared to take about 1 to 2 exams. I mean, we had one, but I'm not sure how they're gonna do the class next year or next semester. So we did have a final project. It was really self-explanatory, nothing to stress about, and they'll help you be prepared for that. And then we had great TAs who were willing to help us walk through everything. They walked around the classroom and were able to answer any questions. So just be prepared to have help if you need it. Some resources I found helpful were Desmos. This one was really, really helpful for me. You're able to like type in the function and then it'll graph it out for you. I'm a visual learner, so this was really helpful. Another resource is Reach, which is a tutoring resource at U of L. You're able to just walk in whenever you want. Obviously, they have hours, but it's pretty open. I think it's like somewhere like around 8 to 5, I think. And yeah, you're able to just walk in. I usually went there for my homework assignments, and they helped me. Yeah, have a calculator. Sorry. That one's pretty self-explanatory. But just make sure you have a calculator. It doesn't necessarily have to be a graphing calculator because you can use Desmos, but I'll definitely bring a calculator. Ask a lot of questions in class. That one will help you feel more like engaged. And then the last one is really important. Sit next to people in class who are engaged in the content because you're going to need to discuss things with people. So you want to make sure that those people are willing to do so. Okay, MyLab. This is our homework platform that we did our homework on. I personally liked how it was easily accessible and you were allowed to try again with a different related question if you got a question wrong. So you basically, if you try hard enough, you can get 100 because you're allowed to like try again. And then I also liked how they had an example at like you were able to look at an example of that question if you got stuck and needed a guide. But I do think that one thing that could make MyLab more productive is if the homework we were doing matched up with what we were doing in class. Like sometimes we would have homework in MyLab that was like way more advanced than we were talking about in class, which is why I had to go to Reach all the time because I felt like I wasn't really getting help with those questions in class since a lot of it was discussion based. In regards to OneNote, this was kind of like our notebook for the class, and this is where he would put our like daily exercises. But then we also had like a section for us to go and answer the questions. I liked the way OneNote was organized, but the one adjustment I would make is by having like students be able to directly edit on the assignment that you gave us for the day, or that he gave us for the day. So he would put like an assignment in the content library, and then we would go in and look at it, and then have to go to our section of the notes to answer it. But it would be great if we were able to answer it directly in the content library, kind of just like your own personalized like page on the assignment that you gave us, because whenever we'd have to copy and paste it into our section, the numbers would like get messed up because of like the copy and paste difference, I guess. And then in regards to the question that was asked about how there were many solutions to problems, this was personally challenging for me to grasp, but I do think that it was beneficial that we learned the fact that you are going to have different like a lot of different answers to different questions, especially in the business world. There's many different routes you can take. But I think perhaps it might be better for y'all to have a discussion with the class about that and just prepare them for the fact that that's possible and explain the reasoning before they run into problems like that. Because I remember our table was super confused on why we were all getting different answers. So maybe prepare them for that before it happens. And then lastly, overall, this was it was a pretty good class, and I would definitely say, depending on how they structure it next time, you just need to learn to be flexible and patient, because this was their first time doing this class. There was a lot of times where it's like you kind of just had to like be patient with the professors and let them figure it out. But I would say I learned a lot in regards to the derivative. Um, yeah, so definitely be prepared to come into this class ready to discuss, and just keep an open mind and you'll do great.